Now President Trump will weigh what to do next as the world watches. Here's Fox's Rebecca Castor.
2 days after U.S. airstrikes crippled its nuclear sites, Iran is retaliating. Iran fired at least 6 missiles at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, home to more than 10,000 American service members. But it's clear the U.S. knew it was coming. The base was evacuated, air defense systems were activated, and there are no reports of significant damage or injuries.
The regime in Tehran is facing an existential fight right now. And so its survival in the short term requires escalation.
The question now is how President Trump will respond and whether the U.S. is going to war with Iran.
If you attack the United States and do harm to us, then everything is on the table.
There are also real concerns about an attack on U.S. soil. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says her department is staying vigilant.
We are continuing to evaluate every single threat and to proactively go after them before they do anything or take any activity.
If President Trump launches another attack on Iran, most lawmakers on Capitol Hill will not want to be left in the dark this time.
It's unconstitutional for a president to initiate a war like this without Congress. Every member of Congress needs to vote on this.
There are resolutions in the House and Senate challenging Trump's authority to authorize the strikes without approval from Congress, but they likely won't gain enough support with most Republicans backing the president. On Capitol Hill, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Governor Kemp weighed in on the conflict and Iran's missile attack on that U.S. military base.
Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live for us at the state capitol tonight. Deidre, you spoke one-on-one with Governor Kemp.
That's right. I spoke to Governor Kemp this afternoon, and he told me that there are no known immediate threats here in Georgia, but that state and local law enforcement agencies remain on high alert. Law enforcement agencies across Georgia are on high alert in the wake of U.S. airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, as officials nationwide prepare for possible retaliatory attacks on U.S. soil.
Just to make sure everybody on the government side of things is at a heightened state of awareness, just to make sure we're ready for, anything retaliatory that may come.
Governor Brian Kemp joined fellow governors from around the country Sunday on a call with Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to discuss how Iran might respond. On Sunday, the State Department issued a worldwide caution security alert for Americans traveling overseas, advising them to exercise increased caution due to the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel and the potential for demonstrations against U.S. citizens and interests abroad. We spoke with Governor Kemp soon after news broke that Iran had launched a missile attack on a U.S. military base in Qatar.
It's disappointing they did that. I know the president gave a stern warning about attacking our folks. I hope they don't escalate any further, because I think that'd be a bad decision for them to do.
The governor assures residents that state officials are coordinating with law enforcement on all levels as they closely monitor any possible threats.
We just wanted to make sure Georgians knew that we're on top of this and keep our eyes open, and they should do the same thing. If they see something, say something.
And once again, the governor is saying that there are no known immediate threats. At the same time, he is urging Georgians to remain vigilant and stay alert to any possible threats. At the state capitol, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Deidre, thanks. America's involvement in the conflict is drawing mixed reaction here in Georgia. Activists against the military action rallied at Centennial Olympic Park yesterday. They say they fear the bombings will draw the U.S. into a larger war that could cost many lives.
The U.S. is acting unlawfully on behalf of the American people, using our tax dollars to incite violence, to terrorize this region of the world.
It marks a clear turning point in the decades-long quest to prevent the Iranian regime from acquiring nuclear weapons capability, which should create fear for all of us.
Amid the heightened tensions, Americans are now urged to be cautious when traveling. This weekend, the State Department issued a warning about staying alert outside the country.
Fox 5's Tyler Fingert continuing our live team coverage tonight. He's at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport with the details. Tyler?
Yeah, Tom, good evening to you. U.S. State Department officials aren't saying you shouldn't leave the country, but they do say that after the U.S. bombed Iran, that you should be very concerned if you are a U.S. citizen and decide to leave the country because you could be a target. Your ticket out of the country now comes with a new warning from U.S. officials. Sunday night, the U.S. State Department issued this worldwide caution alert after U.S. forces dropped more than a dozen bombs on 3 nuclear sites in Iran over the weekend.
It just seems like we're kind of an open target right now, and we're being kind of bold, and that makes me feel a little unsettled.
In the worldwide alert, the State Department says, quote, there is the potential for demonstrations against U.S. citizens and interests abroad, end quote. Last week, officials urged travelers not to go to Israel and Gaza because of the threat of attacks targeting tourist locations and transportation hubs. AAA says it's expecting a record travel period for July 4th and says if you travel abroad, be aware of your surroundings.
Travel in groups, don't travel alone, especially in unfamiliar places. And, we can't stress enough, too, to make sure that you respect the local customs and laws.
At the world's busiest airport Monday, international travelers aren't changing their trips, but they plan to be careful while they enjoy their time abroad.
Even without that kind of warning, I know that danger is always around.
While U.S. officials are stressing people need to be careful abroad, a number of U.S. cities are on high alert after the airstrikes. Places like New York, Miami, and Los Angeles have issued alerts. In New York City, police are deploying extra officers at religious, cultural, and diplomatic sites citywide. Travelers say it's all about being smart.
Just be wise and think about where you're going to go before you go there, because you have to ask yourself, is it worth the risk?
The State Department regularly issues travel advisories. They range from level 1 to level 4. Level 4 being do not travel. If you want to see those travel advisories, we have a link to them on our website, fox5atlanta.com. We are live at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport tonight. Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
Great advice if you plan to head overseas tonight, Tyler. Thanks. With the growing conflict in the Middle East, a Metro Atlanta woman is just grateful to be home after escaping Israel last week.
She got help from a Florida nonprofit after the Israeli airspace closed. Fox 5's Kim Leffler sat down with her today about her experience. Kim joins us now. Must be a huge relief for her to be back on U.S. soil.
Yeah, it really is. Sonia Delgado says she was enjoying her trip to Israel when missiles started to fly. She got help from a Florida nonprofit to bring her home.
Gray Bull has rescued all of these people.
This is a moment Sonia Delgado wasn't sure she'd see when she, her daughter, and her friend began to look for a way out of Israel.
I felt extra pressure because I felt responsible for, what I was putting my family through.
They started their trip June 8th and were supposed to be in Israel for a week.
We did all the things as an American that we're supposed to do. We checked the, State Department, registered with STEP, that nothing said do not travel to Israel.
She says things changed at the end of the week when they first had to take shelter. The next night, she knew she had to leave.
It felt like something hit very close that night when we were sheltering at one point, which I think was the precipice for us. Like the next day, I was like, okay, that's it. I got to figure us a way out of here. We've got to get out of here.
They worked day and night to find a way home, but she says information was limited. That's when she connected with State Representative Long Tran, who knew of several organizations, including Florida-based Gray Bull, who were working to get people out. Last week, they were part of around 300 people the organization got to Jordan and then Cyprus before making their way to Tampa, funded by the state of Florida.
Just really, relishing in the fact of how lucky I am, how thankful I am.
I'm hoping that, the governor, the Georgia Emergency Management, GEMA, will put up some funds and help us get some folks back.
Representative Tran says he's in touch with around 20 Georgia families still working to get back from Israel.
Especially since we have a budget surplus. We're not in session right now, so we can't appropriate funds like we normally would. But I think there are mechanisms we can take to help the families that can't afford to pay for these private security companies to get them back.
So far, Gray Bull has helped over 700 people get out of Israel in recent weeks. Their most recent mission was just this morning. Guys.
Oh, it's just so good to hear that she got back and that she got the help she needed thanks to this group. But it just brings to mind the importance. I know this doesn't apply in her case because unfortunately this happened while she was there, but just to heed the warnings from the State Department and not travel if you can help it to that
absolutely.
area.
And this group was saying that they've helped a lot of kids out as well, so certainly very scary for those young people that are going through
Let's hope those remaining Georgians who are still in that area get home safely.
Absolutely.
Kim, thanks.
Thanks, Kim.
All right, turn.